What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit the bell notification if you're new, and always put that on all, so that you can get notified as soon as any new content drops on the channel. So without further ado, let's get into this. So this is just a bit of breaking news, that Anthony Joshua's fight versus Daniel Dubois. For a while we were thinking there was hints and clues that it could be Daniel Dubois. It was kind of an open secret. I think even Daniel Dubois' coach, Don Charles, he hinted at it. Various people hinted at it, Eddie Hearn, but they never came right out and said it. But yeah, we just knew there was an announcement coming up soon for Joshua. And today we got that announcement, and it's going to be Anthony Joshua versus Triple D Dynamite Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is coming off of a very good victory over Filip Hrgović. Filip Hrgović was a guy that was looked upon very favorably going into the Dubois fight. I think I picked Hrgović to beat Dubois, just thinking he would be a bit too wise, a bit too knowledgeable and experienced for Daniel Dubois. And I just thought he could probably outbox Dubois, but I was proven completely and utterly wrong. Daniel Dubois put in a stellar performance, a fantastic performance, and really just battered Filip Hrgović. He beat the fight out of him, and that's a very, very impressive win, as was his win against Jarrell Big Farmer or Big Baby Miller. So Dubois is coming in against Joshua as, I would say, an underdog, but his performances, should I say, have been very good of late. He's showing a lot of grit, a lot of guts, a lot of determination, and he's a guy that you look at his last fight and look at the fight before, and he's a young man that's looking to just win at any cost. He's looking to, he's got rid of this reputation kind of as being a quitter, being one that gives in, and you see in his last couple of fights that he's willing to stay in there, impose his will on the other guy, and keep throwing punches, keep working and working and working until you get the guy out of there. And so Dubois is going to come into this not as a favorite in my eyes, but he's going to come into it with a lot of confidence, because he'll be coming in looking to stick it on Anthony Joshua, go to him, put the pressure on Joshua, and really try to sort of impose his will on Anthony Joshua. And that's, tactically, he's going to be looking to do that and bulldoze his way to a victory, hopefully for him. As far as Anthony Joshua goes, I think this is a good fight for him. And it's funny because they're both, at a time when early in Dubois' career, he was kind of like the Frank Warren's sort of Anthony Joshua, because you had Eddie Hearn with Anthony Joshua, signed for millions, flying high, knocking everybody out. Pretty young guy, and seemed unstoppable, and Dubois was kind of that for Frank Warren until he ran into Joe Joyce. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting fight, a kind of intergenerational fight. You've got Anthony Joshua, who's been there, done it, bought the t-shirt. He's been a unified world champion and everything. So and then you got Dubois, who's a guy that's sort of been there or thereabouts. He's challenged Alexander Usyk for the title and everything, so that's great. He's been right to the top and challenged. He's had some very tough fights with world level guys like Joe Joyce and Filip Hrgović, and yeah, both guys. This is kind of a crossroads fight for both, because Daniel Dubois, I suppose he's the only difference. Daniel Dubois, because he's a bit younger, he's got a little bit less to lose here. It will be a setback if he loses to Anthony Joshua, but I don't think it will hinder his career as much as Anthony Joshua's career would be hindered and quite badly damaged if he loses here. Because for Anthony Joshua, he's kind of the older guy. He's in his 30s now. Daniel Dubois is in his mid-20s, and so he's the younger man with a bit of time on his side. Joshua doesn't have that much time on his side. He's not an old fighter, but at the same time, he's not like a young fighter where he's like Dubois, mid-20s. You know, you've got your whole career in front of you. Joshua's towards the tail end of his career. He has kind of found a new lease of life with Ben Davison, and he's tactically been spot on in his last couple of fights, and he really seems to have found his groove and found his confidence back. So although his last fight was that easy win against Francis Ngannou, at the same time, Tyson Fury struggled with Ngannou. So the story, the theory going in was that, well, Anthony Joshua might struggle with him as well, and Anthony Joshua might have to go a few rounds here, and that was kind of the prevailing narrative that a lot of people were running with, because Ngannou gave Fury so much trouble. That is not what happened. Joshua just splattered Ngannou and, you know, stopped Wallin as well before that. So yeah, both guys are coming into this off of good form, and for me, I expect it to be a fight that ends inside the distance. I think Dubois is a tough kid, but of the two of them, I think Joshua, there's no doubt about it, he's the more experienced guy. And I think Joshua, not only more experienced, he's the guy that's actually technically better when it comes to boxing. And he's, you know, he's two big punchers going in against each other. And I think Joshua is going to be clever enough and sort of smart enough to be able to get to Dubois and not allow Dubois to get to him. And I think he's going to probably win this one by stoppage. But while the fight lasts, I think it's going to be very entertaining. I think this is going to be an explosive fight. Both guys could get hurt. Both guys could get in trouble here. But for me, I see, as an early prediction, I think Anthony Joshua comes out on top. I think his greater experience of the ups and downs, the highs and lows of boxing, and, you know, the fact that he's now finding a new lease of life, and he's been doing a lot better under Ben Davison. And I think there's a lot of mistakes that Dubois makes that, you know, defensively, that I think Joshua is just going to be all over him and probably defeat him within, you know, the first 6 rounds, somewhere thereabouts. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on this fight. You know, for one, I'm just very happy that it's happening. It's a great cross-generational fight where you got the younger man in Dubois who's had a few setbacks, and then you got Joshua, the older man, who's had a few setbacks, and now he's back. Both are on good form going into this, but for me, I slightly favor Joshua. But let me know what you think about this fight. You know, the undercards looking pretty decent. I think Tyler Denny versus Hamza Shiraz is the chief support. And you've got Liam Smith versus Josh Kelly on there. You've got Joshua Buatsi versus Willie Hutchinson, who just beat Craig Spider Richards. And there's a couple other fights on there that I can't recall at the moment. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. Joshua versus Dubois announced. And it's going to also be for the IBF title, because Usyk, he made a short video to say, Daniel, Anthony, I know IBF title important for you. I give it. You fight for it. You know, so that title, IBF title, is going to be on the line as well. That's another thing to factor in. So let me know your thoughts. Until next time, it's MKO Pugilism, over and out.